Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Renee. It's I've been in this industry for 42 years. And I say this industry in direct sales network marketing. Um, I've been working with water and wellness for right at 30 years now. I never intended to be involved with water. My background is, as you see I'm a retired law enforcement, retired California Highway patrolman. Uh, Injured twice on the job. The Lord healed me the first time, and I went back to work, and just to get injured again another 13, 14 years later. And they say, strike two, you're out. And so my wife and I were involved with ministry, planted a church. She's still heavily involved in ministry with our equestrian youth ranch. And she's also in charge of the children's ministry at our church we go to. So, uh, but the thing is, I kept working with water. I was introduced to water the first time back, I lived in Leona Valley, California. It was a NSA. It was a water filter. I knew nothing about the water system. I just knew it was a filter we set on top of our counter and we get water out of it. It tasted good. Well, I didn't know that several years later that I'd be getting involved with a company that sold water purification, air purification, and I marketed and sold a lot of those. I've sold ozone, photo oxidation machines, reverse osmosis distillers, whole house systems. Uh, Ones from Japan they've sent to me to do bench testing on, which I still use one today as a pre-filter. It just erases the memory of the water. So I've been using that for probably 8, 9 years now. The last company I've been with, I was with for almost 18 years. They worked very heavily in the area of water ionization. I was a trainer, I was a master trainer with them. I've done presentations all over the world. Um, and we have been training on water. And I had hundreds of doctors in my team. I still stay in contact with these doctors because you know what? They trust me because I do as I do my research and studies so they don't have to. A lot of you don't know that your average doctor has about 1 credit hour in the area of hydration, studying hydration. And what's 1 credit hour? 3 to 5 hours, maybe 7 hours of study in that area. They're taught to teach people you drink 6 to 8 ounces or 6 to 8 glasses a day, or 8 to 10 glasses a day, depends on which doctor you see. And as they do that, there's a lot of things that are left out. So I want to go over a few things tonight with you guys. That company I was with treated me very well. They, I made a lot of money with the company. I've been all over the world, like you said, and experienced a lot of great things. But when I was introduced to LifeWave, it wasn't about water. It was about the patches. I was in a lot of pain, and when I was in pain from a knee replacement surgery that did go so swell, and to top it off, it was right during COVID, and so I couldn't get into physical therapy. I had a blood clot went to my lungs. I was in severe pain, and a friend I knew from that other company, he actually did the marketing materials for us. Someone might know Ron Ledford. Ron called me, and Ron says, "Jim, you need to, uh, take a look at this. I'd like to introduce you to someone." And he brought the gal who was the president at the time on the phone, and they told me about LifeWave and the patches, the X39. Then Ron Raven called me, and Kai Jacobson called me. They're all just tag teaming me, and I said, "Okay, let me check it out." So I used the patches, and I noticed some difference, but not a lot. Okay, I know they say that you want to wear the patches 1 month for every decade of your life. Now I'll be 70 in a couple months here, and so I committed to that. I committed to a year wearing the patches. Started using the patches, and from there, I started sharing with others. I only shared the X39. doing what I was taught, and my business started growing. Other things started growing as my hair started growing. Now, I was losing a lot of hair. Matter of fact, my grandkids are teasing me all the time about Grandpa's getting bald. And my hair now is like, you don't see gray hair in my hair. You see it here, but even that's getting black again. So what's one of the things I noticed is, hey, my hair's growing again. And my gal that cuts my hair, she said the same thing. She says, I don't know where you're getting all this hair, but your baby hair is coming all over the place. And so it's like, I thought that was pretty neat. So Renee, if you can keep an eye on the chat and mute people, that'd be great. So
I waited outside.
when I got involved with, got involved, I started sharing.
Jim, you're muted. Sorry. I'm trying to mute everybody. Okay. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
I actually went to the convention down in Florida. And when I went to the convention in Florida, David Schmidt showed some pictures and some science and research he was doing on water. I thought, oh, I didn't know I was going to be getting involved with the company that did water. And they weren't at the time. But he's shown pictures of water and how light affects water. And that caught my interest. And what really turned me on about this company was the fact that we have a company where the owner has like values as myself. David Schmidt, he's a Christian. He's not afraid to share it with people. And he would talk about this light infused water, lobster water. And it really caught my attention. But once again, I was, still working part-time with another company because, my income hadn't climbed in LifeWave yet to meet that income level that I could, walk away because I was making really good money. So long story short, water came along. And I've been helping LifeWave, Wayne and Laura and David with the developing of the marketing and some of the technology with as far as maintenance, care of, use of our X20 water. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to share with you my screen.